just talk, Miranda? My son's stepdad, your boyfriend, just got arrested.
It's a private issue.
Can it be a private issue when it involves my son?
I don't want to hear that because you're his father and you've been arrested plenty of.
Well, the one time that I did deal with the police and I had to go away for a bit, I did my time. I'm clean of that. Every other time, charges were dropped and I was never in jail, so don't do that.
Okay, Joey.
Don't do the eye for an eye crap that you always do, where you deflect, because that's what you're doing right now. You're deflecting to protect your boyfriend.
Would you let me speak? I'm still learning details as they unfold about Brian's arrest, and I don't really know.
I'll do you a favor. I got it right here. I got his charges. Aggravated assault. That's the man who's a stepdad to my son. That's the man who lives in the same household as my son while I fight for weekend custody and I have to deal with supervised visits. Everyone treats me like I'm the monster. That I need to be the one everyone's protected from. And this man...
Alright, again, I don't know the situation.
Not to cut you off again, but let's go back to those allegations that came out about him with his ex-girlfriend and everything, and that was cleared up. You mix it all together, and I'm very uncomfortable with this man around my son. So what do you have to say about all this? So, deflect, go ahead, deflect.
Okay, Joey. We've handled his allegations. I've spoken to his ex-girlfriend. Everything was put to bed with that stuff. And in terms of his arrest, from what I know, he was defending me. Okay, his family called me in. It was a domestic squabble.
I'll do something you never expected me to do, and that's take accountability. I was terrible to you when we were married, and you defended me right and left. And I say this because I see you doing the same thing with him. Except he's a lot worse than me.
You stand there and act like you've changed. But Joey, I know you. You haven't changed one bit. Everything you're saying is hot air. Just to make yourself look good. And half the time, I don't believe you really care about Junior. So I don't know why you fight so hard.
And let's get one thing straight. Okay, a lot of people say a lot of things about me. But the one thing people can't say about me is that I was ever violent around you or towards you. And as your ex-husband, no matter what the differences we have, I'm worried about you right now. The thing that people don't give me credit for, as a human being, as a father, as an ex-husband, it's that I still care deeply about you. And that I never do want to see you harm. I may say things out of anger because of the situation that I'm in, and it's not easy to have supervised visits and go X amount of days during the month not seeing my son, and then having to deal with not being able to call him on the phone because you won't pick up, like all that, right? Aside from all that, I don't get credit for caring about you and still always being there mentally for you.
You need to leave right now, Joey. I want you out of that. You shouldn't be in this house.
It hurts me when you say, I know we've been through a lot with the restraining orders and everything in between, but at one point in our lives, we were both standing in front of each other like this at an altar. You were in a wedding dress. I was in a suit. We never could have anticipated the animosity between us right now. And why can't we just talk? Why can't you and me just talk for a second? Without it going into some other realm.
Can you take Charlotte out and take her somewhere, take her for a walk?
Alright, come on, sweetie.
Am I being here right now, Joey? This isn't a supervised visit. You're breaking the custody agreement.
I don't care. I'll take the strike. If it means having a conversation with you and getting your head on straight. I know you have a daughter with this man. You went down the paternity route. But that doesn't mean you have to like put up with this man's brute activities. I learned firsthand, him giving me a black eye, what type of man this is. And I don't want my son and my ex-wife around that type of behavior.
I asked you to leave and you're not leaving. So, that could void the entire custody agreement.
Don't you see how much I care about you? That I'm willing to risk all my custody just to stand here and have a conversation with you, just to be in your presence for a second, because I care about you. That's how much I care about you, that I'm willing to risk it all.
Again, I don't believe a single word that you tell me.
And every night, every single night, I have nightmares that this man's gonna wind up on the news and in prison because he did something to you, because he gives me that vibe that he's one of those husbands who waves hello, who does everything right and has everyone on his side, but deep behind the walls, something's going on, and I don't want that for you. I don't want you to wind up as a news story. I don't want that to be your ending, you know?
You're not gonna stand there and lie to my face that you're doing this because you care about me or because you care about Junior. You just, I guess, do all this stuff for your own ego because you can't stand that you started some internet show and you're not the hero. You can't manipulate people into liking you, and that kills you.
Look, my intent is clear. I'm being completely transparent with you right now. You may have divorced me. You may have caused me to pay child support. You have gotten restraining orders against me. You've testified against me. And you have full custody of my son. But I still love you, Miranda. And I'll always love you.
I'm not gonna ask you again, Joey. You need to leave.
I'm not gonna make you uncomfortable or nothing, but I just find it funny that when I do try to be nice and when I am transparent, I get no redemption, never. No one can ever give me my flowers for like trying at all. Never given a chance at all. And no one ever says, hey, yo, you know what? Let's give Joey a chance. Never.
I'm telling you now, and I can't believe I have to tell you this, but there's never going to be a time where you and I are civil. There's never going to be a time where you and I are in a room and I'm happy to be there with you. There's never a time where I'm going to want to give you eye contact or start a conversation with you because you and I are done. I divorced you because I didn't want you in my life, and I wish we didn't have to have this custody agreement. I wish I didn't have to see you anymore, and I sincerely mean that, because Brian is my new life, no matter how you try to spin things.
All right, but also be realistic, okay? I'm standing here talking to you as a human being, civilly, because in the future, Dean's gonna have birthday parties. Dean's gonna have graduation parties. Dean's gonna get married. He's gonna have all these events, and you and me are gonna have to attend. And I don't want to be immature, and I don't want there to be a fire between us, and I don't want my son to be uncomfortable because mommy and daddy can't look at each other in the eyes at his own graduation. Do you want it to be uncomfortable at his graduation? It's that, like, I'm trying here.
By the time those events roll around, Junior is going to be old enough to decide for himself whether or not he wants you in his life. And I really don't think that's going to happen.
You know, that's a very hurtful thing to say. And I would never say that to you. And, you know, I never tried to make you feel uncomfortable or anything. And I didn't mean to break any rules today. So can you not tell family court about this and get me in trouble on purpose? Can we be at least that civil? Because I didn't do any harm here today. I was just checking on you. I guess I'll just wait to hear from family court.